Hi everyone, so I am super excited to share this machine with you today, the Spellbinders Platinum 6 in the Lilac Shimmer theme. Really beautiful machine. It just arrived. I will say that these are on pre-order right now, so I'm going to open this up in this video, unboxing, and just kind of run it through the paces so you guys can check that out. But this item was sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links, so thank you for doing that if you would like. Right now it'll link over to the pre-orders. So what happens is the Platinum 6 is the Platinum 6, the machine, you know, we love. It's great. They have it in a white colorway. You know, they sometimes do these special edition colors. So this Lilac Shimmer is exclusive to Spellbinders. So if you want this machine in this colorway, you gotta grab it through Spellbinders. And they're coming out with a new little machine. It's called the Scout, and it's adorable. Where this one, the plates are like 6 1/4, and then just over like 10 1/2 in the other direction. And then they have a larger machine, right? The Platinum. That would be like your full-size, huge, you know, much bigger plates. You can put through that. And then the new one is the Scout, and the Scout is going to be a little guy, and I did pre-order it, so I'll receive mine when you receive yours, and in late June, I believe, is when they're going to start coming out. So anybody who pre-ordered, that's the first batch that will go out, and then after that, whoever orders it then and thereafter will receive it afterward, obviously. It cuts 3.5 by 9 inch. The plates are 3.5 by 9 inch. So if I can give you an idea, it's a smaller machine, kind of more portable. To me, the Platinum 6 is good to go, super portable, but that one's just gonna be, you know, a little bit smaller and adorable. So we will check that out when it arrives. But right now, today, I have the Platinum 6. So I just want to show you what the box looks like. It was inside another like shipping box, you know. So we have our beautiful box here. If you're the type like me that keeps the box, it's very pretty. Lilac Shimmer Platinum 6. So let's open it up. Yeah, and it's the same pretty much all around. Same kind of stuff. It doesn't really say much on the side here. It does say what's in the box. Platinum 6 machine, turning handle, arm with handle and hardware, instruction manual, universal plate system. And that is the other thing I forgot to mention at the top. It does come with the universal plate system. All the new machines or new iterations will have the universal plate system, but just make sure the description says that. Obviously for the Lilac Shimmer it will. But just with the new revamped, you know, Platinum line means they're coming with the universal plate system. So again, that's the platform base, the platform top, the cutting plates, 2 of them, adapter plate, embossing mat, and your shim. It has an exclusive cutting die set in here, exclusive 3D embossing folder, that's 5.5 by 8.5, and then your registration information card. It says the machine, when it's opened, is 6 by 13.625 by 12.875, measuring with the handle and everything, inches. And if the machine's closed up, it's 6 inches by 13.625 by 5.125. They're measuring the handle again in there. So let's open this guy up. And as soon as we open it up, on the very top, we have all our goodies and plates and things. Cute little Spellbinders florals. Usually I go to my dining room to open a box like this, but I knew it wasn't going to be that big, so here we are. The handle with its hardware and the tools. And just nicely stored in here. Oh, it is a shimmer. It is shimmery. You can see that through the bag. It's like a pearlescent kind of shimmer. So let's bring this guy up. Let me get rid of the box. Put this down kind of carefully. There we go. Okay, let's put these to the side and let's open this guy up. It's hard to get rid of because you know, the handle's not there. So let me try to get the little top handle and not make it so big that I can't get the bag off. There we go. I'm doing it that carefully because I'm on recording here. Otherwise I would just kind of put it on its side and pop it out. But there you go. And look at that. Beautiful artwork. I mean, just the most beautiful. I mean, look at the flowers. Again, Lilac Shimmer. It is shimmery. It is very shimmery. Look how cute this is. So if you were to get the Platinum, and they do have the Platinum, the Scout will also come in the white with the silver, if that's, you know, what you have and you want to stay with that colorway. You know, keep your little grouping the same. They do have that option, but they also have the Lilac Shimmer. And it is so cute. So usually with the other Platinum, it's all white, and then this is like a silver right in here. So this one has just a little pearlescent, shimmery strip there, and then just the little bird and everything. It's just really gorgeous, and it has a tactile feel to it. It's definitely on there. It's gorgeous. Look at the side. Oh my goodness. Just little wildflowers, beautiful flowers all around. It does have your rubber little feet. More the same there, front and back. Whatever you consider the front and the back. And then this is slightly different with where your handle is. How cute is that? So, let's go ahead and put the handle on first. Obviously, we're going to open it up, all that kind of good stuff. But let's just go ahead and grab this. Let's open this. I've already done this before, so I'm very well versed in putting the handle on there. I will say, I have some machines, sometimes the handle loosens up, and this one, or like my Platinum 6, or my Platinum, it has not, and I use that every day, literally. So, I hope that gives you some info on that. On some other machines, I have had it where it loosens up, and then you have to, or I don't even try to screw it back in anymore. I just use it, and it starts moving, but not with my Platinum machine, so that's great. It says register to receive $5 off, so you would register your machine, and with all the info that they're going to need, you just pop it in there. You have this beautiful Lilac Shimmer operating instructions. It's telling you here what's included. And then it'll go through to, the platform doors, turning the handle, how to put your handle on, and how to get your machine ready, which is basically just to open up the doors and you're good to go, right? Your sandwiches, I always keep my paperwork, so whenever I have a machine or anything, I have the paperwork for it, But what I love about these plates is that it's right on there. Oh, look at the plates. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so it's right on here, so you're never going to forget it. As many times as I've run plates like these through the platforms, they don't get messed up and marred in any way. So it always looks really nice and clean and clear what your sandwiches are, so in case you forget, okay? Those are your platforms. These are your actual cutting plates, and they're purple, and they're so pretty. Well, they're lilac, I suppose. Just gorgeous. The adapter plate helps you do your, basically, as far as I've been using it for the last, year or more, I guess it's been about a year, is for your 3D embossing folders. So it's basically just your adapter, the platform, and then your 3D embossing folder with paper in it. And then you have, your shims, and you have your rubber mats for embossing if you would like to use it. The shims, I love the shims. I always recommend picking up more of them. I put them through other machines. I just use the shims. So they have them, I believe, 2 in a pack. They're just a few dollars, and I already picked up several packs because I like to use them for different things, since it's better to use this, it's reusable, than a piece of cardstock that starts getting wonky and stuff if you're shimming things with cardstock. It's really nice to have these guys. So I highly recommend those, and I would even pick up more of them, like I said. And then this beautiful Spellbinders 3D embossing folder. So it starts off with an exclusive here to this guy. So look at the beautiful flowers here. Just gorgeous. And then it goes back to like a wrought iron kind of fence, like they're on the fence line. That's really pretty. And again, this is 8.5 by 5.5, but it's actually 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, like 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. The plastic itself, right, is larger, but what it does emboss is an 8.5 by 5.5 area. And then the little flowers, we have thanks, and then you have like a little background for it, and then you have some little posies that you can put together. So we have like little buds here and some leaves, possibly some stems and things like that. The little flowers to go with that guy. You have some little flowers that can just kind of be on their own. So very cute. Die set. And so I guess we just went through everything there. So there we go. So let me open this up. You have these little guys. Oh, that's so nice. I would say I don't think it takes more than one, but they did send an extra, I suppose. So that's really cool. I don't know if I remember that from the last machine, but I would definitely hold on to that. I just pop it in this bag with little tools, and then I just put it with like my other tools. So have those. So we have this guy, and you have this. Let me show you. Let me show you on here too, and we can all get refreshed, because I forgot about the washer. Ooh, I was like, how cute, look at this little, I guess they went to add, like, if it makes, if for any issue, it makes like a squeaky noise or whatever else, you can, excuse me. So, yeah, if you're needing to, if it says, if your Platinum 6 handle requires lubrication, place a small drop of household dish detergent between the white and silver parts of the turning handle. That's what they're showing you there. Do not use chemicals such as WD-40. Let's not do that. Okay. Oh, the reason I grabbed this was to show you guys this. Oh my goodness. So it does have a shape, right, that you're going to place the handle. And then when you go to screw this in, it's going to be washer, then the screw, then your tool, obviously. And then when you're done with that, you're going to top it off there. So what I was trying to show you is this guy definitely has a shape. And so does this, like a little D shape. And it slipped away from my hand and it kind of thudded down, and I don't want you to hear that. So if you look in there, all metal construction, which is great. You need that for the pressure, for it to last forever and all that good stuff. So again, that flat edge, of course, pairs up to this flat edge. Very easy. Just make sure it's all the way in there. And washer. And I'm just going to pop it in there. If you want to place it on this and then push it together, that's fine too. Get that guy going a little bit. Oopsie. I didn't even get that in the hole. There we go. It kind of falls into the hole quite a bit before you actually need to screw it down, so that's good. And this guy, you know, however, do you guys use the short end or the long end? I think it depends on the work you're doing. But either way, I will just go around and around and around till it tightens up. And I would probably put the long end first like this, just because my thumb is getting close to the handle turning there. So let's go ahead and turn, turn, turn. And I give it a really good, as tight as you can get it, right? I'm obviously finger tight because we're using our hands. But I'm kind of pushing away with this and turning with this so I can get a really good torque on that. And then that's it. Take one of your little covers there and put it on there. There's another one here. Again, they give you an extra, which is really great. I haven't had any issues with my other one popping out of my other machines, either one, so there you have it though. All right, guys, well, she is ready. Looking beautiful. Look at that. I don't know if it tells you how heavy it is in here. She has a nice weight. She's not super heavy. I mean, I move her around all the time. It's not like other machines where it's bulky and it might be more problematic. It's very easy to move her around. Let's open it up for the first time. She's, look at that, nice and sturdy. That's what I was gonna say. I said she's, and I said look at that. And then in the inside it says Spellbinders Platinum 6 in that beautiful kind of lilac purple here. Beautiful little kind of rubber grippies. Just, you know, the details that the machine has there. So let's do a couple things. I will say this machine can cut thin metal dies. It can cut your steel roll dies, and I actually have one here. Oh, I haven't used. Grab this. Yeah, no, I just have this one here in my room right now that I've been kind of moving things around and cleaning up and tidying up. I was like, oh, cool. So you know what? We'll try this one out today. Again, it's a steel roll die. We'll try the thin metal dies. We'll do the 3D embossing, and we'll do some regular embossing with a regular folder. So you can see that this cuts thin metal dies. So any thin metal dies you have, any steel roll dies you have, you can definitely place them through here. And they're, you know, they're pretty much interchangeable. But let me grab some paper and other things and we'll get started. So let's start by just doing a little embossing. Just a regular, you know, embossing. So it's showing you here how you want to cut, what the sandwich would be for just cutting your die. If you want to go ahead and use a rubber embossing mat to do like the embossed areas of your dies, if it has that, you can definitely do that. So this one's still showing you that same info there, but it's also showing you how to do your sandwiches for your standard embossing folder and then for your 3D embossing folder. So for the standard one, you're using platform A, which is this one, platform B, which is this one, and then the paper inside of your, you know, standard embossing folder, and then your cutting plate, just one cutting plate. So I have those two guys ready to go. I have this beautiful pearlescent paper, and I just cut it like a slimline size for this guy. Actually, you know what? Let's use this for the other one, so you can see what that looks like on the, you know, being the size. I'm just going to use this gold foil paper on this one. So this is some thicker paper. This is a standard embossing folder from the May embossing folder of the month, and then after that, it's just a cutting plate. So just one of the cutting plates. And this is, again, standard embossing folder sandwich. So let's get this guy. Oh, these are so pretty. And we're just going to roll that through. You can hear that paper, and this is the first time I've used this, so it feels so nice and smooth, though. And I always hold it for you guys because we are filming, and sometimes it'll do a little pop at the end there, and sometimes the pop sounds a little louder. So, standard embossing, looking amazing. I mean, it's great. So I'm gonna put this folder back in my stash, and I'll put this to the side for now. And then let's do a 3D embossed. So for 3D, we are removing this guy. It's just platform A. This again is a universal system. You can still use your older plates. If you have the older plates, you can still put them in this machine. That's not a problem. That just comes with the universal system. So platform A, the paper inside your 3D embossing folder, and then the adapter. So it looks like you also do use the adapter when you're embossing a die cut. I hardly ever do that anymore, I guess. So I haven't done that, but I'll try to do that for you guys today if, you know, we'll see. If it needs to be. What happens is usually the machine has enough pressure for me that I don't need to go and emboss secondly. But there are some dies, maybe some older dies that you have that you really want to get whatever embossed areas it has, and you want to get that done. So, you know, we will try. I'm not promising anything on that one, but I have a piece of paper here that's 8 1/8, I think, or 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. Let's just line it up over here with all this beautiful design going on here. So that's it. Just platform A, and then your adapter. So I need to take this little sheet and get rid of that. And my adapter. Pop that right on top. And get it going. I love the way it feels. Really, really nice. And I know sometimes some machines have this area that might be like rubber or rubberized, that depending on the type of rubber they use, after a while it starts breaking down and feels really gross, like slimy or like sticky. This one does not have any of that kind of rubber. So it's just this plastic housing, metal interior, and none of that kind of rubber that's going to get gross later on. So that's something I like to point out if you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's open this guy up. I mean, you guys. If you have any trouble embossing anything with any machine, what you can do is you can also spritz your paper with a little bit of water. This kind of paper would be a little funny to do that with because it's coated on both sides and it's beautiful, but you can still, just a little spritz. Like, no, we're not wetting the whole thing, just a little spritz to get it softened so it's more pliable. But look how gorgeous this is front and back. So deboss, which is just as beautiful as the intended side, the emboss. I mean, you guys, look at that. Perfect tension or thick, you know, pressure as it goes through. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Okay, so that was that guy. Let's put this to the side. Let's do some die cutting next. Actually, let's go ahead and cut with a steel roll die. Now, I know it doesn't say anything about it on here, so let me just grab some paper and then I'll show you basically how you would cut a steel roll die. Steel roll dies. So I just grabbed a piece of cardstock. I mean, steel roll dies can cut literally anything. They're really hardy dies, so you know they don't make them as often anymore, a lot of companies, but if you have them, and I have tons of them because I mean I've been doing this for over about 25 years, yeah, give or take. So I have a ton of them, and that's pretty much where we started, with steel roll dies a long time ago. Maybe you remember being a teacher, or maybe going into the teacher's lounge, or you know, seeing that they had these things to make like your little boards, right, at school, or your billboards or your signage, and they were just these big thick guys, and in here there's a metal, there's some metal in here that's formed to cut your image, whatever it is that they put in here, right? So steel roll dies. All you need is the cutting plates. So I'm going to show you, just in case you have these, but I just, again, thick cardstock here, I'm just going to pop it on here. Actually, I just grabbed this from my stash and it's already the size I need, so that's perfect. So another thing, when I cut into my new plates now, with pretty much any machine, I will cut into one plate where I don't cut the other one. So the other one's nice and pristine, and you can always use that as your top layer in case you have a sensitive piece of something you're cutting into, foil paper. You don't want to get scratches on it from this having been scratched up so much that those scratches might transfer. It doesn't happen often, at least to me, but it can happen. So I always keep one super clear, super clean, not cut. And then the other one is my workhorse. Like, I just cut into that like nobody's business. So with this one, it's just the paper, you know, underneath your die, and then the two cutting plates, and that's it. So let's run this guy through. And this is the first time cutting into this, so they might make some noise. Of course, I prepared you, and it was pretty silent, but there you go. Again, perfect. We're not cutting into that. Look at that, and look at these flowers. Now there's little layers of flowers. So of course, I can run it through a few more times. Again, these steel roll dies, the whole thing is they can cut leather, they can cut like chipboard. They can cut anything really well, really easily. But there we have our little flower, and you can imagine if I was to color that up, maybe put a few more, run it through a couple more times, make it more full flower, shape it, and all that kind of stuff. But there you go. Steel wool dies. Okay, so let me put that to the side. Let's do next cutting our thin metal dies that the set came with. That'll be great. So I will say the Scout comes with a cute smaller embossing folder that fits through it, of course, and another die set, which is really sweet. So we're gonna have this, you are gonna use the A plate, the B plate, the platforms, right? I should call them platforms. They're your base pieces. We're not cutting into them or anything else like that. So just your platforms. You are gonna have your cutting plate, and again, I'm always gonna cut into this one, and you can turn it and cut in different sides. Always just turning it over here and there as you feel like cutting into one side or the other. Sorry that steel wool die has like little foam that cut away again. I don't know if I've ever used that one, or maybe I used it once or twice. And then your cardstock is going to go on here, your cutting die facing down into the cardstock, and then your top plate. Again, I like to keep my top plate nice and clean. I never cut into it. So I'm going to put these to the side for a moment. I don't need those right now. And let's go ahead and grab some papers, and I'll be right back so we can cut some of these guys. Again, grab some scraps, and I'm just going to place them on here. I can put some tape down, but I think these guys are small enough. I'm just taking scraps of paper. And I always say, put as many things on here as you can place, you know, and run everything through at once. So if it's a small guy, if it's a larger machine, whatever it is, max out your space, and then we'll go from there. So with this guy, I think I'm going to do some greenery with this. I was even cut out more greenery. I was just going to do the little yellow flowers like with this one. And then this little guy can run through the gold. Oh, and you know what? We have this out. Let's do the thanks in the gold too. Why not? Now, if that scares you, you can put some tape down, some Best Ever Craft tape, which I just reordered because I love that stuff. And it's like the second or third reorder. Again, if you want to save your paper, I would place that like not in the center. I'd place it like over here so I can use the paper again. But I can see everything and hold on to it, so I'm pretty sure nothing's going to shift as I run this through. Let me make it more straight. Okay, there we go. This is a tighter feel than the steel roll die. It is a different sandwich, and these guys are much more detailed than like a steel roll die. So place that guy. Where was it? It was over here. See, I already forgot where it was, but you know what? That's okay. Doesn't matter. We'll just stick it back on. So we have our little greenery. And this guy. I know where the thanks was. And we have a little stem here. Cute. And then we have our flowers. Okay. Get those popped out. So has this little extra one, super cute. I'll go ahead and put those together just so you can have an idea what that looks like. Let me get a little bit closer. It's not too difficult to see. Sorry about the lighting on the reflective bits there. So something like that. And then we can pick up our little flowers and add them on. I tell you, Spellbinders does the cutest flowers. Actually, this one, they are a little different. They're very organic looking. That one goes there. I don't know if you can see the shape of that one. It kind of went that way, and I was like, oh, okay. So there you go. Oh, I think someone's delivering something. Sorry, guys. I'll let this set up, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. So we have that beautiful, delicate thanks. Look how pretty that is. It feels really nice. I love doing, like, running those through some white paper a couple times and just gluing them together so it's stands up when you put on your card or your tag or wherever you're going to use that. And just a cute little tag right there with the thanks and things. Of course, we have our leaves and other things that are in there. So I'm going to grab a die that might need rubber embossing just so you can see how that works, and I think those are all the paces. I'll be right back. One more. This is just a die from my stash. It is from a different company. I just want to show you again, any thin metal dies that you have are interchangeable. You can bring them to this machine and that's good to go as long as they fit, right? So that'll work. I will give you this tip. If I haven't cut this away and I'm going to do rubber embossing, I usually try to stick it down because sometimes it'll shift, and even if it shifts, it's fine. You just put it right back through. But I try to keep this die from coming away from this base piece. I'm not doing the best job of that, but there you go. Okay, so we're just going to put that. We're still going to cut it, and then we're going to cut it again. Now, another tip you can do with this one is to flip this over. So when you cut, all you're going to do is remove the plate and then put your rubber embossing mat down and then go from there. So just something to think about. You know, if you have a few of them or something that you don't really want to move. This one's very simple shape. I can just pop it back in. But just something to think about. So right now, again, to cut, we need platform A and B, the cutting plate, paper on there, facing down, all that kind of stuff. You can definitely run it through again with this one down here. And then this guy over here, you're still cutting into this plate that we've been cutting into. And so later I only have to kind of fuss with it in a way that I'm not completely turn this over, but it looks like either way with the universal plate system, I'm just giving you tips for other machines apparently too, you're gonna have to remove these things anyway, so, but it's easier to slide this off and leave it down than to do all this other stuff. Okay, just something to think about. All right, we're gonna put that back on there, paper cutting into there, next plate. And I will say, even if you're keeping a plate nice and crisp and clean without cutting into it, it can get marred by the die, and I'll show you what I mean right now. Just to not be alarmed, it's better that than, you know, just being cut into. But see, you can see the shape of these guys. And it'll keep doing that. And then again, you can turn this in different ways, however. Okay, so when I pick this up, see how this guy came off anyway. And the embossing is already there. I'm telling you, the machine does a good job. The pressure of the machine is pretty good just to begin with. So I'm still going to run it through again. I don't really have to. You saw it. It looked great. But I'm going to move this out. Platform A, platform B, paper in the die still facing up so that the die, you know, the cutting edges are going to be facing up. So just let's say paper facing up. All right. Then your embossing mat, the rubber embossing mat, this guy, and then your adapter. Okay. So just very simple. And we can just run that guy right back through. And sometimes by the time you get to the other end, the rubber embossing mat kind of squishes and it kind of sticks out. But it's just because it's the pressure, it kind of pushes away. And we pick this up. Now you can see that's really in there. So let's pop that guy out. And before it just kind of fell out. Now it's like, no, I am one with the die. It is much deeper. Kind of tore right there a little bit. This is a 3D. Well, I guess it is called a 3D die, but the paper is extra heavyweight paper. So again, try out different papers. Generally, I don't push it back through. It does look really nice though, I will say. Let me look at that roundness here. Very cute. All right, guys, I think those are the paces that we generally go through when we're trying out a machine, the different things it can do with the standard embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder, your steel roll dies, just die cutting, and then die cutting with the rubber embossing. And I think that is it. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section there. And I will have the links for you guys for the US and the UK. And again, this color is exclusive to Spellbinders themselves. So if you're interested, that's where you're going to be picking it up. But that's where the links will go to. So thanks for watching, guys. I was packing up, putting things away. Cut and emboss folders. Spellbinders has them. Other companies have them. They're basically the same thing. What I always do, since I'm not 100% sure, like, well, does it need to, is it more of a 3D or just regular? I run it through as a regular embossing folder, right? So just a standard system here, sandwich, for a standard embossing folder, because some of them are thinner and some of them are thicker. It just depends on the brand and what you're doing. So I would definitely start with the thinner sandwich. I always say the thinner sandwich that gets the job done is better for your machine, your plates, and everything, right? So I would try there. If it looks great, great. If you need a little extra, maybe before you go to doing a full, you know, 3D embossing kind of thing, maybe you add a shim, right? You just need a little bit more. So you add a shim, run it through, and now if it's great, good to go. If you feel like it's still not quite cutting or the embossing isn't as deep as you would like, then I would do the 3D embossing sandwich and see how that goes for you, okay? So just something you have to experiment. I can't really try them all because obviously different brands, they all have different things. On that one, it is a little more specific to each folder that you try out. So whenever I work with them, same thing. I start off with the standard embossing sandwich, and if that doesn't seem deep enough or enough pressure, I shim it. And then if that still doesn't seem right, then I will do the 3D embossing sandwich and see where we go. And then maybe you have to shim that. You know, it just depends again on different brands. Some of them are thinner, even though they have the metal to cut in there. Some of them are thicker. So something to think about. All right, guys. One more thing, guys, before I wrap it up. Of course, the better press and your glimmer machine will fit perfectly in this. That's what they're designed for. There you go. So your better press will go right in there. And the glimmer also, of course, the platform. Not the whole machine, but the platform. This part here. And there you go. Couldn't forget these guys. Just want to show you and remind you. All right. Bye now.